welcome to the Daily English News program on Azərbaycan Televiziya. I'm qocaman. On March 4th, the 14th Summit of the Economic Cooperation Organization was held in a video format. President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, İlham, made a speech at the meeting.
Chairing the summit, Prime Minister of Pakistan Imran Khan greeted the participants and in particular extended his congratulations to President Ilham Aliyev on successful liberation of the occupied territories of Azerbaijan. Prime Minister of Pakistan said that the organization of the summit in such difficult times was made possible due to collective efforts. Saying that Turkey took over the chairmanship, the Prime Minister noted the importance of the development of trade relations between member states of the organization. President of Turkey Recep Tayyip Erdogan expressed his satisfaction that Turkey took over the chairmanship and added that only with the help of solidarity and regional cooperation can we overcome the pandemic, which resulted in decline in many fields. President Recep Tayyip Erdogan said Azerbaijan successfully liberated from the occupation its lands. Speaking of the tasks lying ahead, Secretary General of Economic Cooperation Organization Hadi Süleymanpur said that the development of economic trade relations within the framework of the organization were the priority issue. The Secretary General spoke about the necessity of the stimulation of investments and noted the importance of collective efforts in the fight against the pandemic. Hadi Süleymanpur also congratulated Azerbaijan on its bright victory, thanking President Ilham Aliyev for establishing the Eco Research Center in Baku, which was the initiative of the late President Heydar Aliyev. The Secretary General said this was a remarkable achievement for Eco family to make it multidimensional. He also paid tribute to the Azerbaijani martyrs who had sacrificed their lives for the restoration of the territorial integrity of Azerbaijan. President of Afghanistan Mohammad Ashraf Ghani said he was delighted to congratulate President Ilham Aliyev with this historical achievement. Saying that ECHO is an important platform for implementing the visions of the member states, President of Afghanistan said the regional cooperation was of utmost importance to reduce to the minimum the negative consequences of the pandemic. Before giving the floor to President of Azerbaijan Ilham Aliyev, President of Turkey Recep Tayyip Erdogan said there had been a fact of occupation for 30 years and the Azerbaijanis, having been expelled from their native lands, were forced to live far from home. He underlined that because the OSCE Minsk Group efforts were futile, the Azerbaijanis under the leadership of President Ilham Aliyev liberated these lands from the occupation. Taking the floor, President of Azerbaijan Ilham Aliyev thanked President Erdogan for the introductory remarks before giving him the speech and added that his continued support to Azerbaijan played an important role not only during the war but also during his presidency and leadership time in Turkey, saying that Azerbaijani and Turkish people and many other people around the world were very much aware of not only the fact that Turkey transformed into one of the most important power centers in the world, but also of its historical role in the provision of regional security. The head of state extended his gratitude to President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, President Ashraf Ghani, Prime Minister Imran Khan for the congratulations addressed to him for the victory and restoration of territorial integrity of Azerbaijan. Saying that Azerbaijan attached great importance to its relations with ECHO member states, the head of state stressed that the charter of the ECHO Research Center would be signed today. We are grateful for the member states for supporting the initiative of the late President of Azerbaijan Heydar Aliyev, and we would do our utmost to ensure the productive activity of the center that will be located in Azerbaijan, said President Ilham Aliyev, and added that Azerbaijan managed to put an end to the occupation of its lands by Armenia, lasting for about 30 years by military and political means. Referring to the resolutions of the UN Security Council demanding immediate and unconditional withdrawal of the Armenian troops from the occupied territories, the head of state said they remained on paper for 27 years. Azerbaijan restored its territorial integrity by ensuring the implementation of these resolutions. The invaders were expelled from the ancient land of Azerbaijan, Karabakh. Within 44 days, the Armenian army was completely destroyed. On November 10, 2020, Azerbaijan forced Armenia to sign an act of capitulation. As soon as the war broke out, the first country to support us was Brazil, Turkey. We appreciate the statements of Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan and his political and moral support, said President Ilham Aliyev. On September 27th and 28th last year, on the first and second days of the war, Brazil, Pakistan and Afghanistan called on Armenia to end the occupation, implement relevant UN Security Council resolutions, and express their support for Azerbaijan's territorial integrity. The head of our state commended Pakistan as well as the heads of state and government of other countries for their support during the war. During the occupation, Armenia deliberately destroyed Azerbaijani villages and towns, all cultural and religious monuments in the occupied territories. The facts of deliberate destruction and insult of the cultural and religious heritage of the Azerbaijani people were covered by the international media. Armenia's attempts to expand relations with Muslim countries which insult the feelings of all Muslims, are nothing but hypocrisy, said President Ilham Aliyev, and added that Azerbaijan strongly condemned the connection of Islam with violence and terrorism. In this regard, we welcome the decision of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation to declare March 15th the International Day Against Islamophobia at the initiative of Brazil, Pakistan, the head of our state underscored. Currently, the state has an important task ahead, such as the reconstruction of the liberated territories. The cities and villages in the liberated areas will be built. Our cultural and religious monuments will be restored, President Ilham Aliyev said. Azerbaijan was one of the first countries to mobilize global efforts to combat the COVID-19 pandemic. Last year, Azerbaijan initiated the summits of the two international organizations that it currently chairs, the Turkish Council and the Non-Aligned Movement, as well as the special session of the UN General Assembly at the level of heads of state and government, and these initiatives once again demonstrated our commitment to international solidarity and cooperation, emphasized President Ilham Aliyev, and stressed the close cooperation with the World Health Organization from the first day of the pandemic. $10 million were provided as a voluntary financial assistance to the World Health Organization. Azerbaijan provided humanitarian and financial assistance to more than 30 countries in connection with the coronavirus pandemic. Azerbaijan started the vaccination process on January 18th, and it's one of the first countries in the region that started vaccination. In a number of wealthy countries, the number of vaccines ordered vastly exceeded the need, while many poorer countries would have to wait. Saying that Azerbaijan planned to present a draft resolution on this issue on behalf of the non-aligned movement at the UN Human Rights Council, the head of state called on the member states of the Economic Cooperation Organization to support this initiative. Azerbaijan is an important partner in ensuring energy security in Eurasia. The Southern Gas Corridor was commissioned on December 31, 2020. The 3,500-kilometer Southern Gas Corridor, connecting 7 countries, is one of the world's largest energy infrastructure projects. By connecting Azerbaijan's transport infrastructure with the Lapis Lazuli transport corridor, ample opportunities for multilateral cooperation in the field of transport were created. President Ilham Aliyev said there were great prospects and plans for the future. One of these was transport projects that will unite many countries to ensure peace and stability in the region. Azerbaijan, Turkey and Iran have a common position on the implementation of this project, and if Armenia behaves normally, it can benefit from this process too, said the head of state. President Erdogan thanked President Ilham Aliyev for valuable views and considerations and said he was very glad to see that Azerbaijan managed to overcome this problematic and painful days. Then, President of Turkmenistan Gurbanguly Berdimuhamedov, President of the Islamic Republic of Iran Hassan Rouhani, President of Kazakhstan Kassym-Jomart Tokayev, President of Kyrgyzstan Sadyr Japarov, President of Tajikistan Emomali Rahmon, President of Uzbekistan Shavkat Mirziyoyev, Secretary General of the Turkic Council Baghdad Amreyev, President of the Northern Cyprus Ersin Tatar, and Secretary General of the Energy Charter Orban Rusnak delivered speeches. In the end, the Charter of the ECHO Research Center was signed. It should be noted that the next summit of the ECHO will take place in Turkmenistan.
We have witnessed good results of the trilateral format of cooperation between Azerbaijan, Turkey and Pakistan in the political and other spheres, including the defense sector, said President Ilham Aliyev during the reception of Chairman Joint Chiefs of Staff Committee of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, General Nadim Raza, on March 3rd. One of the countries with which Azerbaijan closely cooperates after the restoration of independence is Pakistan. Today, relations between the two countries are developing rapidly, and new prospects for partnership are opening up. President Ilham Aliyev, having received in video format a delegation led by Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff Committee of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, General Nadim Raza, emphasized that Pakistan was one of the countries that provided the greatest political and moral support to Azerbaijan during the 44-day war. Today, Baku-Islamabad relations are exemplary in terms of mutual support on international platforms. The relations between our countries have a long history. Pakistan is one of the handful of countries of the world that does not have diplomatic relations with Armenia and hasn't officially recognized Armenia due to the occupation of Azerbaijani lands. Our people are aware of this and we appreciate it very much. Azerbaijan, in turn, has always supported Pakistan on all other issues, including Kashmir. We provided support at the UN, the Organization of Islamic Cooperation and other international institutions, said President Ilham Aliyev. In general, from the perspective of existing realities, several priority areas can be identified that characterize friendly relations between Azerbaijan and Pakistan. At the political level, this country expresses all-around support for Baku, the world's political ties, and has no contacts with Armenia. With respect to the Karabakh issue, from the first day of the beginning of the conflict to the end, Pakistan, demonstrating a principled position, showed that it's on Azerbaijan's side. In the economic sphere, as the President stressed at the meeting, the main focus will be on the energy and transport sectors, and Pakistan is expected to be actively included in the routes passing through Azerbaijan. In the military sphere, there are serious prospects for cooperation. Azerbaijan is showing interest in Pakistani weapons and intends to start joint military exercises with this country in the near future. And finally, at a time when international law is not in effect, Baku, together with Islamabad, within the framework of trilateral formats, intends to bring the realities to the global tribunes. I believe that we will join our efforts to strengthen our positions and contribute to peace, because our countries are in favor of peace and justice in the region. We had to restore justice ourselves when we saw that international law did not work, that the United Nations Security Council resolutions were not implemented for 27 years, that the international community did not impose sanctions on Armenia, that Armenia was not punished, and that the endless negotiations were deadlocked. So even a national law does not work, it must be enforced. We have achieved this and demonstrated it to the whole world. Where international law does not work, realities are ensured through force, and Azerbaijan proved this by having won the Patriotic War. The post-war period has already begun, and official Baku is carrying out reconstruction and building work in Karabakh. Azerbaijan is a supporter of peace, and with the support of such friendly states as Pakistan, intends to mobilize all opportunities to ensure sustainable peace and security in the region.
The letter of Azerbaijani Foreign Minister Ceyhun Bayramov sent to the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres on February 22nd on the serious threat posed by the mass contamination of the liberated territories of Azerbaijan with mines and other explosives, and Armenia's refusal to provide relevant information on the mined areas has been circulated as a document of the UN General Assembly and the UN Security Council. The mines and other explosive devices in the liberated territories of Azerbaijan pose a serious threat to the life and safety of Azerbaijani military and civilians in the post-conflict period. Since the signing of the trilateral statement on November 10, 2020, 15 citizens of Azerbaijan, including 9 civilians, have been killed and 65 citizens, including 8 civilians, have been seriously wounded as a result of mine explosions in the recently liberated territories. The massive mine contamination of the liberated territories also seriously impedes the realization of the wide-ranging rehabilitation and reconstruction plans. The human costs inflicted by the Armenian planted mines cannot but constitute a war crime, stressed in the letter. Monitoring gender equality is of a great importance in Azerbaijan. This issue is regulated by law. Over the years, as in all areas, it becomes necessary to amend and supplement the law. Chair of the Milli Meclis Committee for Family, Women's and Children's Affairs, Hijran Hüseyinova, said this at the meeting. The speakers stressed that a lot has been done in the Republic to increase the activity of women in all spheres of public life, and violence against women and domestic violence law has been adopted. Chairperson of the State Committee for Family, Women and Children Affairs, Bahar Muradova, noted that 15 years have passed since the adoption of the law on ensuring gender equality, and special attention should be paid to promoting gender culture. 314 infections with the novel coronavirus were registered in Azerbaijan. 124 people recovered after treatment and were released home. 2 people have died after testing positive for COVID-19. The overall confirmed cases in Azerbaijan have reached 235,647 with 229,267 recoveries and 3,232 deaths. The number of active infections is 9,183. To detect infection cases, overall 2,627,991 tests have been conducted in Azerbaijan. The task force under the Cabinet of Ministers reported. That was all for the day. Thank you for being with us. Goodbye.